All right, when I say we're setting it up and we're rocking with it, you better believe it's true. This is my outfit today because it's laundry day and because I have to wash my hair. I looked at my calendar today, finally switched it over to June, and what do you know? I've got a court date via Zoom for a parking ticket for my expired tags that were in my glove box. So I'm gonna plead ADHD and we'll see if that helps out because it's literally true. They were in my, that's Sawyer, my friend's cat. I'm here watching. Hi, buddy. You wanna come say hi? Come here, buddy. Come here, Mr. Sawyer. Hi, Gwen. Come on up. Come on up. Come on. I know, he's very vocal. 1, 2, 3. Come on. Good boy. Oh, Mr. Sawyer. He's such a good lad. He's such a good lad, huh? I'm not going to give you any of this because it's caffeine. But you are welcome to sit here with me. I'm at my friend's place, as I said, and they live in a very fancy apartment. So down in the lobby, they have a little coffee machine that makes like lattes, mochachinos, cappuccinos, all this stuff. And I was thinking of the irony of like in buildings like this where everyone here could definitely afford multiple coffees a day, it's really interesting that they have the free one. Whereas any other building I feel like I've been in that's like, you know, mid-low range of rent pricing or whatever, which is still insanely high. Yeah, they don't have free coffee. It's crazy. Anyways, I was gonna maybe just like pick up on my long QT stuff. I probably eventually soon will make like a more succinct video. But as you can see, I am just figuring out how to talk about it. It's something that I've been diagnosed with and had for over 10 years now. However, I did it on purpose. I don't need this coffee, but I really wanted it. I've already had one today. Shh, don't tell my cardiologist. That said, yeah, I should probably live a bit of a different lifestyle than I live currently, and I'm going to start a little bit more caring about that because I'm in my 30s now. But one of the biggest frustrations or like limitations, or I don't know what you'd say, blockages I have with like talking about long QT is that it doesn't really feel like I have it because it's not something that affects me daily, which is something I'm very grateful for, obviously. Sorry, trying to help y'all out. I didn't touch it, don't worry, we were hovering. Hi. Oh, hi, good boy. He's such a sweet boy. Look at his belly. Yes. I love his little gremlin mouth. I'm not going to try to move the camera to get it because it's too much. I think I have a picture I could insert, but he's kind of has one of those, have you seen a dog that kind of looks like an Ewok? And it's like really scrappy, but its little face is very pug-like almost. And it usually has like an underbite, but they have like defined lips almost. It's kind of creepy, but it's also super cute when it's on the right being, like Sawyer. Yes, so long QT syndrome is something that, I mean, in my case, I'll say it doesn't affect me every day because I had one of the cases where you have an episode and you go into an arrest that leads to you getting a defibrillator put in. So, let's see where to begin or where to pick up. Yeah, I'll just pick back up with like that first episode when I was 16 and I passed out. It was traumatic for my mom for sure because as I said, she saw her daughter, her 16-year-old, laying on the floor, blue in the face. My arms, she said, were up like kind of cramped like this, like up by my chest. I don't know if my eyes were open or not, but I was making like struggling sounds. My breathing was very shallow. I was in a cardiac arrest, so if you can imagine what that looks like, that's what it looks like. And the name of it is called, I think I said this in the last one, it's like a tour de points. Something that's like something points. And again, it's just describing probably something that's happening on like some kind of device that you read heart stuff with. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. So that happened. We go to the hospital, obviously. This is another like little, it's not funny, but it was wild. So I come to, I'm like, what's going on? Paramedics arrived pretty shortly after that. There was a miscommunication on the EMT call between the dispatcher and the EMTs themselves, and they were told that there's a 16-month-old in cardiac arrest. So I lived at the very back of a suburban, what's it called? Just like a neighborhood. I know what a neighborhood is, but like a housing plan, that's the word. And originally way back when they built it, there was meant to be another entrance to the plan, like right on the street that I lived on, but that never came to fruition. Someone bought the house at the end and it just like was not going to happen. So now, because it was such a big plan, it took like eight to 10 minutes to get from my house from the entrance of the plan. So just picture, like, I want to say it was one ambulance, I think a fire truck came, and like 2 to 3 squad cars, like police showed up, and they all ripped down my little quiet cul-de-sac where like not much happens. Yeah, and then they arrived, and obviously it was all cleared up that it was a 16-year-old in cardiac arrest. Actually, I don't even think they knew that that was what was happening. They probably said it was like a seizure or something, or having a cardiac episode. I bet they said, and that she was conscious and she was chill. So most of them left, just one ambulance stayed behind, and they came in, they're like asking me questions like who's the president, what's the year, all that shit, and I'm just like answering them, and I'm like, this is crazy, what's happening? I'm really sorry about all this drama. And then this is the part where I look in front of me and I see the pizza man. Hold on, I realize this is part 2, I didn't tell the rest of it. The TLDR, it's Hell Week, I'm 16, Hell Week is for my soccer, we're doing 3-a-days. I'm very like hungry and tired from that. Friday night, I jump up, I'm watching TV with my mom, I run to get the pizza at the door. Because of that, I had the episode occur where my heart kicked into an arrest. We don't know this is happening at the time because I'm undiagnosed. So he says I straight passed out, like I just, boom, straight on the floor. And when I come to, paramedics are checking, I look up and the poor pizza kid is still standing in the doorway. Like he's not like shaking anymore. Like his face is like normal. But he's still just chilling there. And I'm like, you can go. I'm so sorry. He goes, no, it's okay. I'll wait. And I was like, you're an angel. But like, dude, you got other pizzas to deliver. Did I sign the receipt? Like, I just want to, like, all that. I just realized, too, I'm like, did we take the pizza with us? Details that doesn't matter. Details that don't matter. What I do remember is that I was like, I can just walk to the ambulance, and they were like, nah. And I was like, oh, yeah, no, I'm good. Like, I can just walk. And they were like, yeah, we kind of have to strap you. Not strap you in, but, like, we have to put you on the gurney. And I was like, okay. So I wasn't, like, mega embarrassed, but, you know, picture being 16, you know, that, like, your neighbors are poking their little noses out the window and being like, dang, what's happening to her? But I didn't really care too much. What I did care about more was I think he was 17 maybe. He was 16 or 17. It was some like, I don't know, intern. What do you call whenever you're definitely not an EMT, but you're like doing a ride along, whatever that is. He was doing that. And I think we were like making small talk or something, this kid and I, and there's obviously another EMT in there with us and my mom. And he was like, I think he was talking about like his SATs or pre-SATs. Do you take I don't know. There's some test that he had not taken yet that I had taken, and I was just like, please don't put my IV in, because I'm a little squeamish. I can do tattoo needles. I can even do like, you know, injections of vaccines, whatever. But like, I don't do well with intravenous things, and I definitely didn't want a kid my age that, I'm not saying that like because he hadn't taken the test he was an idiot. That was like to gauge our ages. I was like, oh, I don't want this to happen. Luckily, other person was there. We got the IV in, and we're good to go. It was just like a rehydrating, like whatever they use to rehydrate you. So we get to the hospital. I get like an EKG. Everything looks normal. They're just like, yeah, I don't know. That's when they found that my like resting heart rate was 40. So we had that baseline. And then like we moved on. And then a little bit later, I had another episode when I was babysitting. I was at this neighbor's house. She came home and kind of like startled me from, like the kids were asleep. I think I was like resting, almost asleep, probably on the couch. Really good babysitter. And then, yeah, I kind of got startled, and I remember standing up and taking a few steps, and same deal, just like ears ringing, weird taste, straight back. I remember it landed on my damn ponytail. So that was the first thing I thought of when I like opened my eyes. I was like, my fucking head hurts. And this woman standing over me, and she's like, I think you just had an acute mal seizure. And I was like, I know the word seizure, and I know what acute is. What's the mall? Like, it was just a lot of words. And then I think my mom came and picked me up. She told her what happened. We were just like crazy. I'm skipping a lot of things because I don't remember this from over 10 years ago. More episodes like that kept happening. They were very small. Like, one I remember was when I was asleep, my mom called me. It was like a weekend, and I woke up like startled by the alarm. I'm on the phone with her. I remember saying hello, and then next thing I know, she's like, Katie. And I'm like, what? And she's like, I was just talking to you, and then you just started like breathing into the phone. I think you just had an episode. And I was like, oh, dang, I did. I do taste like the weird taste. We move on, because at this point, like I said, we don't know that it's a heart-related thing. It does just seem like a lightheadedness, like vasovagal episode, I believe it's called. Let's see. Fast forward to I'm now 19. It wasn't happening like mega consistently. It would happen like every couple months, maybe. I don't remember. Fast forward to me 19. I am going to Long Beach Island with my homies for spring break, I think, or just some trip. And we're all taking turns driving because I don't know I have a heart condition. You better believe I got me a double shot espresso energy drink for my shift. So I'm driving. It's my shift. I'm feeling good. And then my shift is over. I get in the passenger seat. Next person starts driving. I think I fall asleep. And then next thing I know, I'm waking up on the side of the road, sitting next to the car, like leaning against the car. Oh my God, that scared me. That was a baby. It was just Sawyer. It's a baby, but it's old baby Sawyer. Yeah, so I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck, y'all? And I think there was a paramedic there again, because someone had called the 911, obviously. And then I got the skinny after, and I told them I was good. I was like, I definitely don't need to be paying for an ambulance. Like, I feel completely fine. So that was always my thing, which was like, I know that something just happened, but I felt completely like nothing had happened right after. Like, after I got like the taste out of my mouth, honestly, I wasn't like tired. I wasn't confused. I didn't feel like anything weird had happened. I didn't even really feel like a flutter in my chest of like a weird heart or anything. Weird heart. So they do like a little bit of something, and then I'm like, y'all are good to go. And they're like, okay. So they leave, and then my friends are telling me what happened, which is essentially I'm in the front seat. I start, having my little seizure. This one weirdo chick from the back, I'm not going to say names, obviously, but she was so strange. She jumped up, apparently, from the back seat to the front and was like straddling me and like pounding on my chest, trying to do CPR. My friend, who's an actual like CPR certified, like lifeguard, all this stuff, was like, hey, what the fuck? Gets her off of me, thank God. And then, I don't know what happened after that. And then eventually I'm just like sitting, outside. All that happens. We're like, that was crazy. I'm like, so sorry, you guys. And then we continue on our journey. We get to the house that we're staying at. We go to bed. Next morning, I wake up. I call my mom. I tell her what happens. She is so fucking mad at me for not telling her immediately. I get that. At the time, I was just like, there's nothing you can do now. I don't want you to be upset and worried now. So I'll just wait till the morning to tell her. Da-da-da. We end up, I think it was that episode that made us like, I don't know what it was, but we got to see a specialist. So we had been talking to a cardiologist, I believe, and that's where I told the story of like what had been happening, my episodes. And whenever I said the thing about the alarm clock startling me, he was like, oh, that's textbook long QT syndrome. And I was like, all right, bet. So we had a name, which was cool. Obviously, I was like, wait, cutie. Hell yeah. Then from there, I was like, fuck, what does this mean? And then his name was Dr. Lawley. I remember that. Shout out Dr. Lawley in, I think, South Carolina. Then from there, Dr. Goebel was another cardiologist I had. And maybe Dr. Lawley was the electrocardiologist. That might have been it, because I know there was a specialist. And that is what it's an electrocardiology thing. The long QT, like the repolarization, has to do, I know a little bit, the potassium channels and the... What's NA? Fuck. I can like see the chemical compounds. I can see the chemical compounds. I know, dude. I'm gonna stop trying. I know. I love you. You want to come back? Come back over here. He's not meowing because he's upset, by the way. He's just like, he does that all the time. Yeah? He's just a chatter. Uh-huh. Yeah, basically it would get like when I would get startled, it would basically go like, and then like, instead of just getting kicked with the channels, like electrifying it in the right way to be like, doom, 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 it would like skip a beat and then it would go into the like, doom, 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 like arrhythmia part. So I'm going to skip ahead again. Oh, no, I'm not. When I got diagnosed, they then gave me a temporary heart monitor. So it was like these sticky pads that I would put on, and I'd like wear it like a little mic pack. The sticky pads were the worst part, I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't really care how it looked because it was like whatever, but it was very visible. Like when I dressed like this, I had like one up here, probably like one here and one here, I think. But yeah, the sticky pads were crazy. They were like ripping my fucking skin off. So like that really gave me perspective of folks that have like the, I don't know what it's called, like the port for like insulin, diabetes, and then obviously any other kind of medical thing, like a port for leukemia, or not for leukemia, sorry, for radiation, chemotherapy. That was the word I was looking for. Yeah, it's just a lot to have something on one part of your body off and on, whatever. So I do remember though. Sorry, short circuit, reset. Antonia, shout out my best friend. we put them on her, because I would like change them out every once in a while, obviously, and I put them on like the side of her bunk beds, and they were still there like years later because they were so sticky. Amazing shit. So that happened. We had that. Just to get like a baseline, I think, of what was happening. Probably had an episode with it on that we got to monitor. I can't remember. Then at some point I got like an implanted one. I can't remember why I did that, but it was really small. It was like this big and like this wide. So it was like a tiny, tiny flash drive almost. And that one went in my titty, which I thought was kind of funny. It was just like they cut a little incision and just like slipped it right here. And I didn't mind it, except occasionally I would like turn and it would get like pressed in a way that I would be very aware that was in there. And I was like, ugh. And then at the same time, I had a Nexplanon birth control implant. So that was also there. And I was just like, there's so many things. But I was chilling. I was just kind of getting through. Cut to the big episode. I'm at my then boyfriend's house. His mom's super Christian, so we're sleeping in separate rooms. He had to wake up to go to his job. I'm in the other room. I literally remember I'm asleep-ish. It's like when you're kind of waking up in the morning. Asleep-ish, and I hear the click of his door opening. And that is, I guess, what set me off into my episode. Next thing I know, I'm coming to. He's like, you know, breathless, standing over me like, what happened? I heard you making noises. And I was just like locked in. So I was like so calm. He said it was like so fucking freaky because it went from me being like nearly dead, like blue in the face, just like my mom said. And then me literally just being like, could you hand me that remote over there? Like so fucking chill. And I was like, my bad. But yeah, he hands me the thing. That's what it would like record. The loop recorder is what it's called. That's what the like heart monitor was. And that would just make like a notation or whatever, like a little mark within the data so that whenever someone was reviewing it, they could then like easily find it and locate the squiggles they needed to measure for the Q's and the T's. So that got sent to wherever it gets sent to. And then the crazy thing too, that bitch went to work. He was like, I kind of have to go to work. And at the time I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna like make you stay. Like I'm completely fine. That's weird. Obviously looking back, I'm like, that's fucking crazy that you thought you had to go leave and make $6 an hour at the local Starbucks so that like, what? But whatever. Yeah, other crazy part is that I don't remember if I like called and told someone. I don't remember the order of events for this one, but that happened like in his town that we lived, or that he lived in. We drove the maybe 2 hours to the town that we went to college in. I think a whole night passed maybe. And then the next night I remember I was sitting at my desk in my room doing this anthropology project where I was meant to identify the years of Chevys based on their design. Don't remember how that was anthropology-ish, but whatever. I get a call. Hold on, let me make sure this is recording. Cool. I get a call and it's my... Dang it, no, it's not. Why'd I check? It's my cardiologist or electro, who knows, Dr. Goebel. Is this a camera that has like a thing in front of it? Okay, hold on. That's going to be so annoying to everyone. There's like a dog hair. I just like really hope she wasn't there. Pause. Unpause. Okay, but I need that back. So Dr. Goebel calls me and he goes, hey, there's a loop recorder episode that we got the data from and you were in cardiac arrest for a minute and 55 seconds. And I just was like, I think I went, holy shit. And he went, yeah. So, and he just keeps rolling. Him and I had this like vibe. It was so funny. I love that guy. But yeah, he was like, you need to obviously get here now. We're going to put a defibrillator in, And I was like, all right. He goes, I'm going to let you call your mom first. And then I'm going to call her, tell her I'm going to call her, or tell her to call me or whatever. And, you know, I'll give her the details that she needs. And I was like, okay, thanks for letting me call her first. Cause he had already met her. And I think he like knew that was the way to do it. Cause my mom does not fuck around when it comes to her babies. So, I call my mom. She, same as me. She's like taking it all in, obviously like locking into mama mode. She made this drive, I swear to fucking God, this drive I went to school in Columbia, South Carolina. She was in Myrtle Beach. That drive is like 3.5 hours. I swear to God, she got there in like an hour and a half. I swear. So she gets there, obviously. I'm like gathering my things and we go and we drive there. We drive back. I think we probably went straight to the hospital. I can't remember. I do remember though, during that drive, I was like, dude, please do not go off. Like, please just stay calm, heart. Like, get through this drive. Get where you gotta go. Like, I just remember feeling like that. We get to the hospital, we do the check-in. I feel like no, I'm just gonna tell it. I keep wanting to like break it up into a bunch of videos because it's such a long story, but at the end of the day, you guys can totally fast forward, and anyone that wants to watch it and see the actual story is probably interested in how it went down in real time. So we get to the hospital. They obviously check me into a room. I do remember that I still had like my shorts and tank top on that I just showed up to the hospital with. They get me like hooked up to the EKG monitor and things like that. I think they even get the IV going, all that good stuff. Which I don't want to talk about it too much, but as I said before, I don't do great with IVs, and we learned that the vein on my right arm, I guess, has some kind of little curvature that occurs, so that when you can get the IV in, but it doesn't want to stay in. So they discovered that via ultrasound, and then were able to kind of, I think, finagle it that way. I don't know, but the whole time I was like, please do not put this in the back of my hand. I really don't think I could be able to like handle that, because I'll see it and feel it. I just can't. And they were like, we'll do our best. And I was like, okay, well, it's the only option. So, but we got through it. And then I remember they were like, I remember this part. I was so fucking pissed off about this, because I go, I don't have a gown yet. Like, do I need a gown? And the nurse was like, oh yeah, we'll get you one before we wheel you down. I was like, bet. Next thing, a little bit later, some people come in to wheel me down, and I was like, I don't have a gown yet. And they're like, oh, we'll just get you one in the OR. And I was like, okay. So we get there, and I had like a sports bra and a tank top on with all these wires and shit. And like, they wheel me into the freezing fucking cold OR. It's supposed to be cold, obviously. And they're like, oh, okay, can you throw this on real quick? And I was like, I'm like, what? And there's like, I remember, because again, I'm 19, and this is the part that like low-key I cried about with my mom, because it just pissed me the fuck off. It was like rage tears. And any doctors out there, I do understand, like, y'all aren't all creeps. That's not what I'm getting at. But there's 3 or 4 male surgeons in the corner. They're minding their own business. They don't even look at us when we roll in. It's not anything like that. It's just the feeling for me of her being like, all right, take your clothes off in front of like everyone. I was like, okay. So I get the tank top off, fine. I'm trying to get the bra off without pulling off these leads, and the whole time I'm trying to cover myself. Like, I just remember feeling so exposed and so like forced to do this. That was the part that I was like pissed the fuck off about, is because I was like, the way that I already tried to address this and get this gown on in a space where it would have been completely comfortable and a complete different experience for me, and then I was ignored time and again, and then here we are. And then obviously my feelings would be ignored in this situation if I was like, could I not do this here? They're like, let's keep this rolling, we're on a schedule. Anyway, very small part of the story, but honestly a part that like really stuck with me. So we do the surgery. I learned later on, or maybe I learned during it, or not during the surgery, but like before, I can't remember. But they do like test the defibrillator and make sure it works. So that, I don't know how they do it, but they like simulate a cardiac arrest, and then like you do get like, oh, shocked in the thing. So that's kind of crazy just to think of me being like unconscious and be like, so wild. But surgery's great. It happens. I waking up, not so fucking great. Oh my God. I remember the pain like it was yesterday. I didn't look up a video of the surgery for obvious reasons. But yeah, the first one is definitely the fucking worst, with getting any kind of heart thing put in that I have. Because for me, they had to run lead wires up the sternum and then down around this rib cage, like under my boob. And then the battery itself is the like square defibrillator. That's like the generator of it. So the leads were the worst part, because it just, it scrapes along your fucking sternum when they just thread it up there. Like, I woke up and it was just burning fucking pain. Like, it felt like there was a hot rod shoved just, I don't want to like get too explicit, but like it was painful. And that was just the chest. Then there's the side part where, because they cut a pocket of skin on top of your muscle. They cut skin, I don't know how this works. Slide that little guy in and sew it shut. So luckily it's not muscle being cut. That would be a lot worse, I think. It is like fat on top of muscle, which again brings me back to when they kept being like, I was like, how visible is this thing going to be on me? And they were like, it's going to be pretty fucking visible. Like, usually we put them in, like, men that are, like, 200, 250 pounds. So you can't even see it. It's just, like, it goes into their body more than out. And I was like, okay. So they had no examples or anything of anyone my age. So another huge reason that I want to, like, talk about this. Because, oh, my God, there's not a lot of good shit out there. Not a lot of, like, real people info for long QT. So anyway, I'll display it later because obviously I don't feel like trying to figure that out. Big window here and all that jazz. You also would have seen it in that first video where I was like defib reveal later, and I'm like leaning and moving around, and you can absolutely just see the honker right there. But honker, I literally hardly know her. But yeah, I will show you later just so you can like see the little scar because I've had 2 now because they do die, their batteries. I think for now I'm gonna leave it here because I do have to like get going with my day. And I also don't want to have like 45-minute videos to upload. So we'll pause on it here. Thanks for hanging. And we'll chat later.